Beitar Jerusalem Football Club is an Israeli professional football club from Jerusalem City. Founded in 1936 and plays in the Israeli Premier League. Beitar were the 1986 Euro 87, 1992 Euro 93, 1996 Euro 97, 1997 Euro 98 and 2006 Euro 07, 2007 Euro 08 champions of the Israeli Premier League and the winners of Israeli Cup and Israeli Supercup. The club is based at the Teddy Stadium in the Malha neighborhood, and plays in black and yellow. History until 1948 Beitar Jerusalem was founded in 1936 by David Horn as a youth team. The first games were held against Armenian and Arab teams in Jerusalem, while Hapoel Jerusalem stayed away because of political hate against Beitar Jerusalem. The club was dismantled in 1938 after one of its managers was arrested by the British Mandate authorities and another was shot and injured in another incident. Beitar's troubles were linked to its close connections with the Irgun underground with which David Horn and the club's players were associated. In 1942, the club was re-established, this time as a club for adults rather than just a youth team, and Shmuel Kirstein joined the management. Politics again became a problem, with British soldiers and policemen often attending Beitar games to spy and identify the faces of the players. Jerusalem Cup games of April 15, 1944, Beitar Jerusalem, Plebes won a Euro April 1, 22, 1944, Beitar Jerusalem, Plebes 2 a Euro May 2, 13, 1944, Beitar Jerusalem, Plebes 3 a Euro May 2, 20, 1944. Beitar Jerusalem, LAN won a Euro 3. Later, Beitar Jerusalem qualified for the final, which was to be held against the team of the paymasters of the British Mandate. The fans of rival Hapoel Jerusalem caused a sabotage, the games were interfered and the Jerusalem Cup remained in the hands of the politicians in Tel Aviv, as it was told years later by Shmuel Kirstein. Exile on October 19, 1944. Several club players were among 251 persons who were deported to Eritrea, Kenya and Sudan by the British Mandate authorities. Among the deportees were David Horn and Rabinovich and some members of Beitar Jerusalem's first team of 1936. A Beitar Jerusalem team was set up in Gilgil where many deportees played in city of origin-based teams. A big running away plan was made involving a tunnel dug from the center of a football pitch in Old Gilgil detention camp in Kenya. 2 of the deportees were murdered by Sudanese guards for an alleged escaping attempt. 6 succeeded in reaching Europe. All living deportees reached Israel in July 1948. November 1944, a trip to Lebanon and Syria, with Shmuel Kirstein left in Jerusalem. Beitar continued to exist in Jerusalem in its name. When a joint team of Beitar Jerusalem and Beitar Tel Aviv visited Lebanon and Syria, he played one game versus Hamatan, an Armenian team which ended in 0-0 and another game against the French Army team which Beitar Jerusalem lost to a Euro 5. Both games were held in Beirut. Another game, planned to be held in Aleppo, but it was cancelled because of a diplomatic incident as Arab delegates in the hotel protested seeing an Eretz Yisrael flag, now the Israeli flag, in an Arab country. The British ambassador intervened, suggesting that the Union Jack is raised instead of the Eretz Yisrael flag, but head of delegation Hayim Levin opposed and caused the cancellation of the game. Simon Alfagi, Shimon Stern, Israel Yehezel and goalkeeper Yosef Miaz were the Beitar Jerusalem players in the trip. British Mandate-era Cup, in 1946, Beitar Jerusalem qualified to the second round of the Cup games against Maccabi Tel Aviv. The scores were a 3-3 and a loss 3-2 in Game 2. Simon Alfagi scored all 5 goals for the club, 3 in the first and 2 in the second. Detentions a Euro ban a Euro name change to Nordia Jerusalem. On August 8, 1947, all Beitar clubs were banned by the British Mandate authorities. The club name was changed to Nordia Jerusalem, before a local league was set up in Jerusalem district in November 1947. On November 15, 1947, Beitar as Nordia Jerusalem won the first derby, 3-1 over Hapoel Jerusalem, and on November 29, 1947, a second win was achieved, 8-1 over Dekel Zion when one player Simon Al-Fajri scored 6 goals in a game, the record for any Beitar Jerusalem's player that stands till today. The club led the league on November 29, 1947, on the same evening when UNGA Resolution 181 was proclaimed, and on November 30, 1947 the games were stopped abruptly. On that day the 1948 Arabo-Israeli War broke out. During the war, Beitar Jerusalem player Asher Benjamin was killed by the British when he entered to a British camp in Jerusalem. First years after 1948 after independence in 1948, Beitar, again by its original name, played since 1949 a Euro 50 season in the Special League of Jerusalem's district, ending in 5th place while achieving a win of 8-0 over Hapoel Ramla on December 17, 1949, the highest league win of Beitar Jerusalem in any league the club played. In 1951 a Euro 52 season, the club integrated into Liga Bet Southern Part, then the second tier. In 1953 a Euro 54 the club won the Southern Division of Liga Bet, and were promoted to the top league, which had just been renamed Liga Lumit. In their first season in the top flight they finished 11th out of 14, and were forced to participate in promotion-relegation playoffs. Although they were the highest-placed club to take part in the playoffs, they finished at the bottom of the group. Beitar were relegated back to the second league, now renamed Liga Elf. In 1957 a Euro 58 they won Liga Elf, but were not promoted, as there was no promotion or relegation that year. The 2-year season they won Liga Elf again in 1966 a Euro 68 and were promoted back to Liga Lumit. That was the best league season ever for Beitar Jerusalem, although it was winning the second division only. 104 points out of possible 120, for a season of 60 matches when 2 points were given for winning a match. The club had 32-match undefeated streak with a sequence of 19 wins starting with the 42nd match to the 60th match inclusive, the record of Beitar Jerusalem in any league, scoring 161 league goals. 225,000 spectators saw the club matches in that season. The prize that the club management gave to the players was a trip to the United States of America. After finishing 13th in 1968 a Euro 69, Beitar finished 5th in 1969 a Euro 70, their best performance to date. 2 seasons later they finished as runners-up to Maccabi Tel Aviv. In 1974, during a match against Hapoel Petah Tikva, Beitar fans invaded the pitch and attacked Petah Tikva players and fans. This caused the first of several radius penalties, in which the club was forced to play matches in other cities behind closed doors. Beitar were also due to be relegated, but were saved by the intervention of Knesset members Ehud Olmert and Yossi Sarad, who forced the suspension of the relegation threat and called for an investigation of Israel Football Association corruption. In 1974 a Euro 75 the club reached the State Cup final for the first time, but lost 3-1 to Hapoel Kfar Saba. In the same season they finished second bottom of the league, and were due to be relegated to Liga Elf. However, an IFA decision to expand the league from 16 to 18 clubs saw them reprieved. First title. The next season they finished runners-up in the league to Hapoel Beersheva and reached a State Cup final again, this time beating Maccabi Tel Aviv 2-1 to claim their first piece of major silverware. On June 16, 1976, 55,000 or 60,000 spectators saw the game in an overcrowded Ramat Gan Stadium. Danny Neumann and Yuri Malmelian scored for Beitar Jerusalem. On September 11, 1976, the club won the Israeli Supercup for the first time after beating Hapoel Beersheva 3-2. Yuri Malmelian scored 2 goals and David Yishai scored another goal for Beitar Jerusalem. The club finished as runners-up in 1977 a Euro 78. 1978 a Euro 1979 season, the second State Cup. In 1978 a Euro 79, the club ended as a runner-up also reached the cup final winning 2-1 against Maccabi Tel Aviv, on June 6, 1979. Danny Neumann and Yossi Avrahami scored for Beitar Jerusalem, to win the State Cup for the second time. 1979 Euro 1980 crisis equals, despite the run of success towards the end of the 1970s, the club was dependent mainly on Yuri Malmelian's ability. Early in the season he suffered an awful injury, that made him crippled with the need of 3 operations until 1981. He missed the most of the games until the summer of 1981. Beitar finished bottom of the division in 1979 Euro 80, and were relegated to Liga Artsat. However, they made an immediate return to the top division after finishing as runners-up to Beitar Tel Aviv in their first season back in the second tier. The YMCA affair of September 12, 1981 and its aftermath The 1981 Euro 82 started with a remembered sports disaster for the club. On September 12, 1981, a referee named Avraham Klein gave a win to Maccabi Tel Aviv in a series of wrong decisions, cancelled a goal of Beitar Jerusalem's player Yaron Nadiv when he and Beitar's players celebrated the goal, allowing seconds after to Maccabi player Moti Ivanir to score a goal from an offside position. A crowd of 8,000 Beitar Jerusalem's fans went crazy. The Israeli Football Association quickly decided to punish Beitar Jerusalem and discuss the so-called football game for 6 weeks before stating to leave the outcome as to a Euro 1 win to Maccabi Tel Aviv, and filing a reprimand about Avraham Klein. Also the next game of Beitar Jerusalem is remembered. On September 19, 1981, a player of Hapoel Beersheva, Shalom Avitan hit his teammate Eli Wetzman on his face, and Hapoel Beersheva coach entered the pitch, took Shalom Avitan by his hand out of the pitch and prevented showing a red card by the referee. Beitar Jerusalem won to a Euro 0. Later, with Eli Luana in his first season, Beitar Jerusalem improved its games, ending the season in the 6th place, and to the delights of its fans, Maccabi Tel Aviv ended that season in the 8th place. The crazy season of 1982 a Euro 1983 the season of 1982 a Euro 83 is remembered as the crazy season. A bad start of 2 draws and 2 losses caused the firing of the coach Eliyahu Ofer without stopping his salary payments, and he said they will ask me to come back. After changing of 7 management members and 5 coaches, Eliyahu Ofer was asked to come back and he came back to be a coach in mid-season. The club was in 16th and last place for 2 weeks but recovered, from the 18th game to 29th game inclusive, 12 no-lose sequence of games. Beitar ended the season in the 8th place. This is a place to explain that traditionally as a Beitar movement branch, the club was managed by Hereth and later Likud party's members. Party members were appointed by party apparatus to the party representative football club managers to give them a managing training before they ever ventured to carry out political duties. That state lasted until 1999. Some of the managers are ever remembered for good reasons who held Beitar well, such as Reuven Rivlin and his brother Eliezer Rivlin, but Yossi Tzazhevsky left the club after his well-remembered brawl with Yuri Malmelian when Tzazhevsky told Malmelian in the midst of the troubles of 1982 a Euro 83 season, "I will burn your legs." As a fan said within 3 days Tzazhevsky will not be in Beitar, and the fan was proved right. Yuri Malmelian was referred by Beitar fans as a saint and was given full support. On the 3rd day Tzazhevsky resigned. Crisis of 1983 a Euro 1984 season in 1983 a Euro 84 Beitar went into the 29th out of 30 games of the season needing a win or draw to be closing the title. However, they lost 1 a Euro 3 to Hapoel Tel Aviv, allowing Maccabi Haifa to win the league, despite Beitar won the last game 3 a Euro 2 over Shimshon Tel Aviv. Maccabi Haifa won 1 a Euro 0 over Maccabi Ramat Amida and became a champion. The 3rd State Cup in 1984 a Euro 85 Beitar finished again as runner-up, and won the State Cup for the 3rd time, winning 1 a Euro 0 over Maccabi Haifa on June 4, 1985. Eli Luana scored, after which coach David Schweizer left. 2 titles of 1985 a Euro 86 season in 1985 a Euro 86, in the summer of 1985, Drok Ashdan took over as manager. Almost immediately the club won Lilian Cup on September 10, 1985 for the first and only time, after winning all 4 of its games by an overall scores of 14-2. Ashus Sazin scored 6 goals, at least 1 goal in each game. Beitar Jerusalem finished the league in the 4th place. They retained the cup in 1985 Euro 86, beating Shimshon Tel Aviv 2 Euro 1, on May 27, 1986. This was the 4th time that the club won the State Cup. Eli Luana and Yuri Malmelian scored for Beitar Jerusalem. The second Israeli Supercup. On September 16, 1986, Beitar Jerusalem won the Israeli Supercup for the second time, after winning 2 Euro 1 over Hapoel Tel Aviv. Eli Luana and Yuri Malmelian scored for Beitar Jerusalem. Drok Hashdan created the first championship. Despite having to play all home matches at Bloomfield Stadium in Tel Aviv. In 1986 Euro 87 Beitar claimed their first championship on May 2, 1987, winning the league by a 15-point margin. Both Yuri Malmelian and Eli Luana scored 15 league goals each. Sami Malka scored 13 league goals to make his best season of his career. Gary van der Molen became the ace card and secured 8 league points by scoring 5 league goals in about 17 games, most of them as a substitute. On May 3, 1987 a reporter of Maariv wrote, "I saw the disappointment-full crowds frenzied out of happiness, it is a thing that cannot be described in words." Drok Hashdan's coronation speech lasted only 36 seconds. Eliyahu Ofer entered into history. Hashdan left the club to manage Maccabi Haifa. Eliyahu Ofer became the coach. In 1987 Euro 88 Beitar Jerusalem ended in the 9th place, and on the end of the league the club won the Israeli Mini Football Championship for the first time on May 24, 1988 after winning over Bnei Yehuda 5 Euro 3. That was the first and the last time ever that a nationwide mini football tournament was held in Israel. 24 teams took part. Beitar Jerusalem came to win, and did it. The tournament was held in Malha Stadium in a hall regularly used for basketball games. Yuri Malmelian acted as the owner of the place and was the tournament star. Eliyahu Ofer finally won a title with Beitar Jerusalem. The 5th State Cup. Hashdan returned in 1988. In 1988 Euro 89 they won the State Cup again. Yuri Malmelian scored 7 goals on his way to winning the trophy. The club beat Maccabi Haifa 4 Euro 3 on penalties after a 3 Euro 3 draw on June 14, 1989. Yuri Malmelian scored 1 goal, and Avi Cohen of Jerusalem scored 2 goals in the game and 1 goal in the penalties shootout, both in their last game before leaving Beitar Jerusalem. Moshe Ben Harash, Hanan Azli and Yaakov Schwartz were the other scorers of the penalties shootout. Beitar Jerusalem players did not miss. 2 of Maccabi Haifa players missed. That was the 5th winning of the club in the State Cup. Hashdan left the club again during 1989. 2 very hard seasons. The 1989 Euro 90 was a survival struggle. It became a success by winning the last league game, 3 Euro 2 over Maccabi Netanya. Each of 3 scorers scored their first and only goal in the whole season. Goran Majoyev, a Tajik player who came from Russia, got sympathy among fans for his games despite scoring only 1 goal. That goal secured a good end to that season. The Bulgarian Atanas Pashev was the season star. 4 league goals made him the top scorer of the club, 1/5 of the 20 league goals that Beitar Jerusalem players scored during that season, but he was attributed that his goals literally saved the club from being relegated. In 1990 Euro 91 they finished second bottom of Liga Lumit, and were relegated to Liga Artsat. The expert of the second league, Lufa Kaddish. Under Lufa Kaddish the club made an immediate return to the top division. Eli Luana returned from Europe as ever since regarded as a man who came to save his club. He scored 17 league goals in that season. The club won first place in a margin of 9 league goals over Hapoel Haifa, both had 60 league points, and both were promoted. Drok Hashdan created second championship. Hashdan returned to the club, winning on May 1, 1993, the second-time championship in their first season back in Liga Lumit. The club won 22 league games out of 33, setting a winning record in the first division and 71 points, also a record during one first division league season for Beitar Jerusalem. Eli Luana and Ronen Herezi were the championship stars. On March 16, 1993, in the State Cup games, the club set its all-time record in any tournament with a 9-0 win over Beitar Ramla. Liga Lumit 1993 €94. This season ended when the score of the club was 75 €66 but yielded almost nothing positive. Kashtan departed for a fourth time. A swing season. The coach Amasia Levovic came and the season of 1994 €95 started bad. He was fired after 4 games, replaced by Yossi Mizrahi. The club started in the 16th and last place, reached a first place and ended in 8th place, meanwhile achieving a win of 8-1 over Maccabi Herzliya on October 22, 1994, the highest win ever of Beitar Jerusalem in the first league games. 1995 €97. The first term of Eli Cohen and the third championship. In Liga Lumit 1995 €96. With the appointment of Eli Cohen, the club had an improved season ending in the third place. The club won the championship title for the third time in 1996 €97 on May 17, 1997. On its way the club gained 8 straight wins and after that within the season 9 wins in a row. This is a record in Beitar Jerusalem games in the first league games. Eli Luana, Ronen Herezi and Yitzhak Zohar were the championship stars. At the season's ended, Eli Cohen said, 2 years in Beitar are equal to 5 years elsewhere. His contract ended and he left. A special double, a Toto Cup and a championship. In 1997 €98, Beitar Jerusalem won the Toto Cup for the first time on December 23, 1997 by winning 3-1 over Maccabi Tel Aviv and later in that season won the 4th championship on May 9, 1998, by which time Kashtan had returned to the club again. Despite Yitzhak Zohar left and Eli Luana suffered an injury in the 7th game without playing until the end, Istvan Pizant became the right man in the right time and the right place to lead the club to win, an achievement only preceded by Maccabi Haifa in 1994. In 1998 €99 Beitar reached the cup final, but lost 3-1 on penalties to Hapoel Tel Aviv after a 1-1 draw. Yaakov Ben-Gur investment. Director Moshe Dadash could not carry the club alone. The involvement of Likud Party diminished to that of Ehud Olmert alone. On October 6, 1999 Beitar was sold for the first time to Yaakov Ben-Gur. Kashtan was replaced by former player Eli Luana, under whom the club reached the cup final again the following season, where they lost on penalties to Hapoel Tel Aviv again. Yaakov Ben-Gur left over a brawl with Eli Luana and the team was sold to Gad Ze'evi. 90 surprising minutes on top of Europe and a league fiasco. At the end of the 1990s the club was in severe financial difficulties. Chairman Moshe Dadash had sold the club's training grounds and pocketed the money. Gad Ze'evi brought the money to buy 10 new players in almost unlimited prices and salaries. At the end of the 1999 Euro season, Luana was fired and replaced by Eli Gutman. Gutman started the 2000 Euro well, by 18 games without a loss, and won also the Shalom Cup, a Euro Peace Cup in Rome on September 10, 2000 when the club beat Olympiacos from Jordan 7-0 in a game which lasted 45 minutes. Later in the same evening Beitar won 1-0 over Roma in another 45 minutes game, and won its first and only title out of Israel. Some days later Beitar lost 1-3 to PAOK in UEFA Cup tournament in Greece. The next game with PAOK ended in 3-3 draw. Moshe Dadash was forced to leave by Israel Football Association over his juristic problems exposed in 2001 concerning the training pitch in Beit Vegan. The real trouble was exposed by an Israeli court in 2005. Later the season ended in a fiasco, both on the pitch and financially. Gutman became sick and left after 22 league games, and Nissim Bakha, the winner of 2 titles in 1976, returned, and brought quiet to the team till the season ended. In the later years, Eli Gutman and players were accused by fans and media in cheating Gad Ze'evi and capitalizing over his expense, concerning the real prices and salaries of some players, especially Branko Savia and Milan Stoyanovski. Gad Ze'evi got troubles with Israeli police over Bezek shares, and found Beitar Jerusalem financially unworthy, and left Beitar, applying to a court to declare Beitar's bankruptcy. Struggle in 2001, a Euro 02 season. The club bankruptcy that was declared by a court caused appointing Ami Fulman as an interim director by the court until club debts will be settled. Ami Fulman and his assistant got a salary of 1 million NIS together, and the club was given a budget of 5 million NIS. The previous season players were convinced to get only 25% of their contracted salaries, and whoever agreed about it joined the creditors' arrangement. The club started to search for players and new owner, and fans took active part in it, filling the courtroom in every discussion about the club, and some opened a bank account for donations. Its number was known to few, only 54,000 NIS were collected. Beitar Jerusalem was not allowed to play the first 3 games, they were postponed. The club started to play only from the 4th game onward, losing the 4th, 5th, 6th games, got draws in the next 3 games and won for the first time in club's 7th game versus Hapoel Rishon LeZion. Meanwhile, new buyers were approved by the court. Mu Benigel, the brothers Mu Levi and Shaul Levi, aided by Sas and Shem Tov. The fans felt that they'd done the best to help their team. Until the 29th league game, inclusive, out of 33, Beitar was in 12th and last place, with only 5 wins and 10 draws. 25 points. The 30th game was won, and also the 31st game was won. The 32nd game was a draw 3-3 against Maccabi Kiryat Gat, a rival in the bottom of the league. Beitar Jerusalem promoted itself to the 10th place. The last game was a draw 1-1 versus the new champion Maccabi Haifa. Beitar ended the season with 7 league wins, 12 draws, 14 losses, 33 points. 39 goals for, 49 goals against, and kept the 10th place and survived in the Israeli Premier League. Mana Hassan scored 11 league goals in his only season as a club player. Beitar scored 15 goals in 3 State Cup games, including away wins 7-2 over Sport Club Ashdod, but lost 0-1 to Maccabi Haifa in the semi-final, on May 7, 2002. 2002, a Euro 03 season and the Honesty Prize awarded to Beitar Jerusalem. The club ended the season in the 9th place, and was certificated by the Israel Football Association as the honest team of the season, in the merit of 0 red cards and 71 yellow cards of club players, the least numbers in the whole of the Israeli leagues. The prize was a DVD recorder given to the club with a certificate about the achievement. 2003, a Euro 04 season. The news for the club came from Maccabi Tel Aviv, the champion of 2002, a Euro 03 season. On August 13, 2003, 3 senior club members declared in a press conference, Avi Nimni and Tal Benina being ousted from the club, because they were blamed in dividing the team as making camps of separate players. Mu Benigel saw the opportunity to take Avi Nimni. The problem was his contract, assumed by millions of NIS. Mu Benigel offered 3 million NIS. After months of negotiations, an elaborate deal was made. Nimni will get a contract of 4,200,000 NIS for a 2.5 seasons, a part of it will be paid by Maccabi Tel Aviv. Nimni joined with Beitar Jerusalem in mid-season, scored 8 league goals, and Beitar ended the season in the 9th place. 2004, a Euro 05 season. Avi Nimni continued to play with the club, added 12 more league goals. His charisma helped getting the 4th place. By the end of the season, Avi Nimni aggregate score was 20 league goals in 50 league games. 2005, a Euro 06 season. Arkady Gaidamak arrives. During the summer of 2005 it was proven that Mu Benigel has financial problems. The only worthy thing that remained out of his ownership of the club is the value of the training court in Beit Vegan. After spending 60 million NIS in about 4 years, he looked for his way out. The contract of Avi Nimni was a huge burden. Nimni was returned to Maccabi Tel Aviv FC by its fans that threw away all 3 persons that expelled him 2 years earlier. Panigel got a relief for Beitar Jerusalem finance, 1 year short of Nimni's contract with the club, both separated in good ways. The help to Beitar was unexpected after the 2005-2006 season started. On August 18, 2005, the club was bought by Russian-born billionaire Arkady Gaidamak for $35,500,000 NIS without buying of the training court in Beit Vegan. Ever since Panigel leases the training courts to the club for a yearly fee. Arkady Gaidamak angered some Beitar fans when he donated $400,000 to Bnei Sorkinen in a diplomatic gesture. However, under Gaidamak, the club soon established itself as having the largest budget in Israeli football. Several new players were signed such as Jar copyright Rami Leroy, Fabrice Fernandez, David Iganzo, and the club eventually signed manager Luis Fernandez. Beitar finished third in the league and qualified for the UEFA Cup in 2005 a Euro 06. 2006 a Euro 07 season, the fifth championship Osvaldo Ardiles was appointed manager at the start of the 2006 a Euro 07 season, but was sacked after disappointing results in the UEFA Cup. His replacement, Yossi Mizrahi, led the club to the title of fifth championship on May 7, 2007, 3 games ahead of season's end, during a TV news broadcast. When the club got the title after Maccabi Tel Aviv was punished by decreasing 2 league points for a financial fraud involving the contracts of 2 of its players, increasing the margin of Beitar Jerusalem from 8 to 10 points when 3 games worth 9 points together were left to play. After a crazy celebration made by the fans ahead on the evening of May 6, 2007 after a win against Hapoel Petah Tikva 2 a Euro 0, because of a rumor that the championship was secured, which was false then. On May 8, 2007, the club player Milovan Miroeva told the press, "It is weird to win the championship without a game." Beitar Jerusalem did the best to win its next game over Hapoel Tel Aviv and won 2 a Euro 1, to prove to be entitled for the championship on the pitch. 2007 a Euro 08 season, the 6th championship and the 6th state cup in the summer of 2007, Itzhak Shum came to be the club manager. In 2007 a Euro 08 the club won its first championship and state cup double, winning the championship title on May 17, 2008 by 9 points and beating Hapoel Tel Aviv 5 a Euro 4 on penalties in the cup final after a 0 a Euro 0 draw, on May 13, 2008 for winning the state cup for the 6th time. 2008 a Euro 09 season, the 7th state cup the following season, 2008 a Euro 09 season started when Itzhak Shum as club manager, but bad start to the league and disqualification to UEFA Champions League, Shum was sacked without stopping his wages payments. Reuven Attar came to be the coach. In an improved January 3 end of the season, Beitar won the state cup for the 7th time, beating Maccabi Haifa 2 a Euro 1 in the final on May 26, 2009, despite finishing the game with 10 players versus 11. Christian Alvarez and Aviram Barukayan scored for the club. 2009 a Euro 10 season, the 2nd Toto Cup in July 2009, Gimel Eguya invested over $4 million and it was widely expected that he would take over ownership of the club, and indeed claimed to be so in December 2009. This was denied by the Israel Football Association, stating that Gaidamak remains the owner due to his ongoing legal issues complicating the sale of the club. Itzhak Shum was returned to work for his contract did not end. On January 26, 2010, Beitar Jerusalem won the Toto Cup for the 2nd time, by winning 1 a Euro 0 over Hapoel Ra'anana. Aiden Veer scored, and the trophy was given along with $1,300,000 NIS. On the beginning of the tournament fans told Toto Tams, "Please win the cup called after your name," and he became the tournament star when he scored 5 goals out of the club total 15 goals. The club won 7 games, one of them by a technical 3 a Euro 0, 1 draw and 1 loss. Itzhak Shum told the media that he fulfilled his mission, winning all 3 titles with Beitar Jerusalem, namely Championship, State Cup and Toto Cup, but he was unfortunate. Many fans claimed that his football is boring and sickening, and he had hard times from crowds without honor. He was fired before the season ended, with the club ending the league in the 5th place. The club ended the season in financial profit, made by the Toto Cup money. 2010 Euro 2011 season Yuri Malmelian started the season as a manager. In Toto Cup games the team started successfully. It passed the group stage without losing, ending 1st place while setting its record score of any time in this tournament. On November 9, 2010 the club won 8-0 versus Sport Club Ashdod, qualified to the quarter-final. In the league games the club had hard times. Yuri Malmelian asked to resign, but remained as a manager until after the 18th game. Beitar had only 19 points, then he resigned, and was replaced by Ronnie Levy. Beitar Jerusalem lost the Toto Cup quarter-final to Maccabi Petah Tikva in penalties shootout. In the league the club ended in the 11th place. In July 2011, Beitar Jerusalem announced theatre deal was made between club owner Arkady Gaidamak and American businessmen Dan Adler and Adam Levine, who were to take over the club. The deal fell through when Adler and Levine heard about the club debts, deciding to do not pay them. Since, both were referred by Beitar fans as 2 clowns who came to make an advertising trip on the expense of Beitar Jerusalem. The 2011 Euro 12 season During June 2011, David Amsalem was appointed as a coach, but few days before the league start in August he suddenly resigned a day after the team won 1-0 in a Toto Cup game. Amsalem told that the team is not prepared for the season. Without new players he could not be responsible to the future. Yuval Naim replaced him. An unsuccessful start caused an end to his job when the club was close to the league's bottom. Eli Cohen, the winner of 1997 championship, came. He won the title Coach of the Season, because of a sequence of 8 Beitar Jerusalem's league wins during his period. Beitar finished the season in the 9th place. On June 17, 2012, Gaidamak announced his decision to give up the ownership of Beitar Jerusalem. He sent a letter to the media, in which he specified the titles won by the club in his period, and the total sum of money that he invested in the club, by then, $378,886,000 NIS. Eli Tabib era On June 20, 2013, the team was bought by Eli Tabib. The deal was confirmed on July 2, 2013. Eli Tabib took the responsibility to pay Beitar Jerusalem FC debts, totaled by $12.5 million NIS. The media reported that he paid most of them during August 2013. After 6 years in office, Tabib removed Isaac Giranfin from the position of club chairman. Before the beginning of 2013-14 season, Eli Cohen was appointed as head coach until December 2013. Ronnie Levy replaced Cohen, but the club failed to improve in its achievements. On April 2014, Menachem Karatsky became the new coach until January 2015. Karatsky was replaced by Guy Levy, who led the club into the 4th place in the championship table standings. For the first time since 2007, Beitar returned to European tournaments to compete in the European League. In June 2015, Slobodan Drapier became the new coach. During the Europa League second qualifying round first leg at Sporting Charleroi, the game between Beitar and FC Charleroi was delayed for 3 minutes due to the unruly behavior of some Israeli supporters. The club suffered a heavy loss in Charleroi and the owner Eli Tabib announced he would leave the club. Crest. Since the foundation of the Beitar movement, the menorah has become a theme that has run throughout the years. Shirt sponsors and manufacturers. Stadium. As of July 2010. The club was initially based at the Banana Field close to Beitar Youth Group's nest, but by the 1950s they had moved to the YMCA Stadium, which was later shared with Hapoel Jerusalem. The YMCA was nicknamed the Sandbox due to the poor condition of the pitch. In 1991, both clubs moved to the Teddy Stadium, named after longtime Jerusalem mayor Teddy Kollek. Initially the stadium was two-sided and held 12,000 spectators. This was increased to 21,600 when a third side was completed in 1997. The fourth side of the stadium was completed in the summer of 2013 in anticipation of the UEFA Under-21 Championship hosted by Israel, increasing the capacity of the stadium to 34,000 seats. The ground has been dubbed Gehenom by club supporters, for the hostile atmosphere it presents to visiting teams and their fans. Fans and anti-Arabism. The most vocal supporters of Beitar Jerusalem make up the controversial nationalist La Familia group. These fans are well known for their hatred of Arabs and their pride in the fact that Beitar Jerusalem is the only team in the IPL that has never had an Arab player, even though it had several players of the Islamic faith. Fans in and out of the stadium's stands chant anti-Arab and racist slogans. The club has also been penalized many times for the behavior of its fans. Although Beitar Jerusalem has yet to have an Arab player, team leaders say that they would welcome an Arab player when the right conditions make it possible. Goram Ajoyev, a Tajik player, was the first Muslim player who ever played for Beitar Jerusalem. In the hardships of the 1989 Euro 90 season, his religion was on notice to most fans. The fans liked Ajoyev as he did his best in 13 games during the second half of the hard season. Ajoyev's single goal in the last game, when Beitar won 3-2 over Maccabi Netanya, helped the club to secure the next season in the Liga Laumit, then the first Israeli league. Victor Porsekshino, an Albanian player, was a staff for Beitar Jerusalem. He scored 21 league goals in 67 games and at least 2 State Cup goals during 2 non-consecutive seasons, 1999 Euro 00 and 2001 Euro 02. In an interview to the Jerusalem newspaper Kol Hayai, he told that he is a Muslim, a fact that was mentioned later in the Israeli media. Victor Paco was one of the fans' favorites. Nigerian player Ndala Ibrahim, a Muslim, was on the team briefly in 2005 on loan from Maccabi Tel Aviv, played 4 games, supported by the coach Eli Luana but left after being mobbed by its fans. He returned to Maccabi Tel Aviv and quickly went away to Nigeria. In 2013 the team's owner signed 2 Chechen Muslim players, Zawar Sadav and Thabrail Kadov, which led to protests from fans which Israeli Deputy Prime Minister Moshe Ya'alon condemned as shocking and racist, stating "I was shocked by the racism displayed in the Beitar Jerusalem stands yesterday against having Muslim or Arab players on the team." Fans of the club reportedly displayed a banner bearing the words Beitar Euro Pure Forever, and chanted anti-Arab slogans at a match on the day that the players were signed, leading to 4 arrests. On February 8, 2013, 2 fans, Matan Navan and Evita Yosef, set fire to the club's administrative offices, apparently in response to the signing of Sadav and Kadov. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who is a Beitar supporter, condemned the arson as shameful and racist. On March 3, Sadav scored his first goal for Beitar during a league game against Maccabi Netanya, prompting hundreds of the team's fans to leave the stadium. Honors. Domestic competitions League, Israeli Championships, winners, 1986 Euro 87, 1992 Euro 93, 1996 Euro 97, 1997 Euro 98, 2006 Euro 07, 2007 Euro 08, runners-up, 1971 Euro 72, 1975 Euro 76, 1977 Euro 78, 1978 Euro 79, 1983 Euro 84, 1984 Euro 85. Second Division, winners, 1953 Euro 54, 1957 Euro 58, 1966 Euro 68. 1991 Euro 92, runners-up, 1964 Euro 65, 1980 Euro 81. Cups, State Cup, winners, 1976, 1979, 1985, 1986, 1989, 2008, 2009, runners-up, 1975, 1999, 2000. Toto Cup, winners, 1997 Euro 98, 2009 Euro 10, runners-up, 1984 Euro 85, 1993 Euro 94, 1998 Euro 99, 2000 Euro 01. Israeli Supercup, winners, 1976, 1986, runners-up, 1978, 1979, 1985, 1989. Other, Shalom Cup, winners, 2000. Lillian Cup, winners, 1985. Mini Football Championship, winners, 1988. First team, as of September 6, 2015. On loan foreigners 2015 Euro 16 only up to 5 non-Israeli nationals can be in an Israeli club squad. Those with Jewish ancestry, married to an Israeli, or who have played in Israel for an extended period of time can claim a passport or permanent residency which would allow them to play with Israeli status. Nikita Rukavitsaya, Claudemir, Dua and Matavia Pablo de Lucas, Jesus S. Ruida. Youth team Former players. Most appearances Player of the year Managers. References. External links. Official website.